All right, let's go to our guest line and bring on our good friend Rick Beardsley to talk some lacrosse. Rick, how are things?
Guys, what's going on? I'm going to be somewhat subdued. I'm in an office in Greenwich, Connecticut, working at a buddy whose son actually plays at Loyola. So I'm just using an office while I'm down here coaching at Darien.
Nice. Is it a working lunch today, or is that still to come?
It is a working lunch because we practice here 3 hours a day starting at 2:45. So a lot of my lunches are probably not eaten, but if you looked at me, you would think I still eat a lot of lunches. So it's not the way it goes. But I know Paulie wants to ask that question. So, if there's an ending to this, then we can ask it at the end. But, you know the deal. If you ask me about lunch, I tell you about the origin of salami. You know that?
Yeah, people have already guessed. I was like, I don't have a prize. They're like, no, it's just fun guessing what Rick eats. So we'll do that at the end.
All right, so we'll do it at the end. Let's talk some lacrosse now, and we'll start with Saturday Cornell game. Listen, no shame in losing to the number one team in the country. How do you kind of look at that game? Are you more concerned coming out of it, given that the NCAA tournament's right around the corner, or is this about where you thought SU was at this stage?
I mean, I'll be honest. I was at the game. I was field level, thanks to Corrigan Sports and Starter uniforms. And I got to feel kind of how the first half was, the rhythm of the game. And it was a fast-paced game. I'm not too concerned about Syracuse. I think people like, Jordan just told me that, the score might not have shown it was a 5-goal loss. But, it sure felt like worse, to be honest with you. There was just some sloppy things that Syracuse did. It just didn't feel like Syracuse got in a rhythm as a unit as far as a team was out there. I don't know about is it Angry Joe? What's his name? Angry John?
John.
Angry John.
Yeah, Angry John. If you're out there, I don't know if you can be that angry. They just didn't get into a rhythm. Cornell came out like gangbusters, and they moved the ball real well. I had a lot of different answers. But Syracuse, I think the only thing I would say I'm concerned with is they just didn't seem to have enough of the unit do the job. It was more like Owen Hiltz. That's the first time I've ever seen him really be aggressive on the dodge, and that was great to see. If that's the case moving forward, it'll be a lot of great things. But the way the parity is in lacrosse right now, I think Syracuse going to 7 in the rankings is a little harsh. I don't think they're a 7. I think they're like still a 4. They did lose to a very good 1 team, but again, I could be called a homer once or twice, guys.
You bring up the rankings. Syracuse 7th right now in the rankings. They've got a couple of ranked opponents here to close out the regular season, then the ACC tournament. Are they do they have more work to do, I guess, in order to get to the NCAA tournament at this stage? Meaning, do they still need to, win a game or two to lock that up, or do you feel like they're kind of safely in at this point, no matter what?
I will tell you this: I think they still need to win games.
Yeah,
I think they can't because of just judging by the way the rankings hit. So you jump them down 3 spots with a loss to a number 1, right? And that's not good. So you lose 1 more to a Duke, who's a 13 or a 12 at this point, and I think it's a bon voyage here. And I don't want it to be the case. I think the tournament is better with Syracuse in it. But I do think you can't stumble anymore now.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because I think we all look at Syracuse as a team that legitimately could go to the Final Four, and once you're at the Final Four, who knows from there. And we're talking about a Final Four caliber team that still has to kind of sweat it out here and has some work to do down the stretch. Does college lacrosse need to expand the NCAA tournament at this stage, given that there's so many more programs now? The parity is what it is now.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to do that. I know that the AQs definitely will, kind of piss people off. But, listen, it's a system that I don't know if it's been broken or been proven like the NCAA tournament's been broken, but there's certainly been times where it has looked broken, where, Notre Dame a few years ago ended the season as a 4 and didn't get in the tournament. That's so wild to me. But I do think expanding it can't hurt. I think it could bring more money. I think it could, 100% make teams help them more with recruiting. It gives them a chance, right? outside, the bigger conferences. I mean, there's teams like, Fairfield, if they don't win their conference, could get bounced. And they were, at one point undefeated in a 4. I mean, that was a number 6 or something like that, but that's a false 6 could do the scheduling. But those are the things, like, people want to see those guys. Because if they go in the tournament with one loss, I mean, it could be a loss to someone who's a ranked team, but they still have some quality players. I mean, I just think it'd be good for the sport. And what can it hurt? It's not like it's 64 teams, guys. You have to have 50,000 locations. It's going to cost you $1 million. Let's be frank. It's lacrosse. Right. So, I mean, look what it's done for football. It's added one more TV thing. It's added one more opportunity. I mean, Corrigan Sports put on this game. There was one more opportunity to make some money and make some business and get some more exposure for the kids out there. And it'll definitely help with recruiting, I think. So, yes, I think they should expand. To what number, I don't know. To what number, I don't care. I just think I want them to expand so the sport can grow.
Getting back to the Cornell game for a minute, I do want to go to the defensive end of the field for Syracuse. And Jimmy McCool had been so good of late, had 45 combined saves in the 3 previous games. Just 7 saves, let up 14 goals in this game against Cornell. Was it a case of something that Cornell was doing that gave him trouble, or was it just the fact that the defense in particular just had a big, had an off game, and Cornell was shooting from in close, and there wasn't much Jimmy McCool could do?
I mean, I will say that Cornell shot really well, number one. Number two, that really is tough when you're hitting low elbows like that, and then guys are hitting your pipe. I think, the one thing Syracuse could have done, I think they could have junked it up a bit. I think one essential part of that offense that Cornell has is Tim Gold is the Goldstein kid, Timmy Goldstein's son, Ryan Goldstein. I think he was really the guy. Everybody talks about C.J. Kirst and the Thornton Trophy, and my God, is he really good? Absolutely. But I think Ryan Goldstein is the guy they really need to kind of not allow to touch the ball, because he seems to punish teams when he does, and he's a big part of the flow of the offense. But Jimmy McCool saw some shots, man. Seeing those things live, I was like, why would you ever want to be a goalie, Steve? Why would you ever want to be a goalie?
Has C.J. Kirst already locked up the Thornton? Is it over and done with?
No, he's got to win a title.
Yeah?
I think he's got to get to the Final Four. I think he's got to get to, he falls short. If they give it to him, it's a novel item. I mean, I'm going to say it. Listen, people aren't going to like what I'm going to have to say here, okay? Especially Cornell alums. I know it's been 50 years. Like, get off your high horse. You make millions of dollars. You're all CEOs, okay? Like, the arrogance that was sitting on that sideline when I walked by it with those VIP passes were incredible. Whether these people like me or not, I don't care. They didn't like me before. They're certainly not going to like me after this comment. If he gets it, it'll be because it's Cornell. If he does not get to the national championship, he gets the national championship, that kid's got it locked up. Because let's be honest, guys, he is that good. I am going to say that, but I think the trophy should go to those that win. I don't think a Thornton Trophy or an MVP or some type of positional player of the year should ever really go to a guy who didn't get to a national championship. That's just my feelings. And I played with a few of those guys, obviously, in my day. I know that was, a long time. Like I always kid, it was Jesus and Moses on my D-line, not Hans Smith and Chad Smith. But that's what I can say to you. That's just you asked me my opinion, and that's my opinion. Is he good enough? Yes. Are there others that are good? Yes. Is he the front runner? By all means, but you have to be a winner, right? And we don't, by the way, guys, I'm not going to say anything. This is Orange Nation. We call it Orange Nation. We don't give Cornell, and Steve, remember with our show what we used to do? Sure. We didn't give Cornell a lot of love. And Connor Busick down there, they're doing an amazing job. I mean, they've slowly just crept up on us, and now they're in the forefront. And, kudos to Coach Busick and his staff and those players down there in Ithaca, which is just, depending on traffic or snow, it's a short 50-minute drive.
Yeah. All right, let's look ahead to the Duke game now. As you said, Syracuse can't slip up anymore. You watch a lot of college lacrosse. What are your thoughts on this matchup against Duke?
Well, Duke, as they say, is the place where great players go to become mediocre nowadays. And you love that, because that is definitely going to have somebody get upset. But it's just the way it goes, guys. I think Syracuse is a better team than Duke. I think Duke's trying to find an identity. But also you're playing down at Costigan Stadium. probably the weather will be a little warmer than Syracuse is used to at this point, and it's on grass. So a lot of things could fall into place here. And Duke is Duke. They do have 5 stars all over the field. And then there's no reprieve. Geez, you go right down to Carolina. I mean, you come back up and you face Carolina in the Dome. I mean, it's a great thing to be home against Carolina, but Carolina's loaded at this point.
Yeah. All right. I guess, last thing, Paulie, this is where you chime in.
This is huge.
Yeah, this is your time to shine.
I got to scroll up. What did you have for lunch, Mr. Beardsley?
I had nothing. I have had nothing. I had I went.
Way to ruin the bit.
Listen, you'd be very proud of me. I went to the tanning salon earlier. Can't lie.
I've done that on occasion.
Yeah,
I usually once a year get myself burned at Planet Fitness.
Yeah. So listen, it's been raining here. The sun hasn't been out. It's not typical downstate weather because I'm obviously here coaching until the season's over, and then I'm back up to Syracuse with Tori and Viv, and Angela will be back from Stony Brook. But I had to do it, brother. I'm looking quite tan right now. It's not on a bit of orange, so I'm good there. And I've been working. I have practices. It's an off week. I got a game against Trumbull, who stinks. So we should be able to handle them. And then we face Chaminade on the weekend. So playing the number 3 team in the country on Saturday. So we'll soon see how we do, guys.
Are you doing intermittent fasting? Is that what I'm getting?
No. Are you kidding me? I'm doing intermittent. Like, can I finally get a home cooked meal? And I haven't had one. I've been living with the old coach and his 2 dogs, and the dogs stand on you when you eat, and it's like kind of nuts. So you just got to leave the house and try to become a human being again.
You got a healthy dose of vitamin D for lunch.
Yes. So he prioritized tanning over food.
Alphabet guy said nothing, so he won.
So he wins. Okay, so somebody guessed that. Yeah. Excellent. All right, good stuff. Good stuff, Rick. As always, continued success down there, and we'll check in again soon.
Guys, thank you, and as always, I appreciate Go Orange.
All right, our good friend Rick Beardsley joining us. With that, we'll hit a timeout. 315-437-7644. Today's business on the way next to Tom Thomas coming up at 1:30.
We're going to give you the business.
Next on ESPN Radio.